I was part of the house band of the Scat Club. We played every weekend, and I thought I had it made until my bandmate, Richard, made this comment. And that set me on a brand new trajectory, truly changed everything for me. So each Friday and Saturday night, we'd play at the Scat Club, and we'd have to basically carry tunes for 4 to 5 hours. So we had a massive set list that would kind of rotate songs, pretty easy stuff, and every once in a while we'd get together to rehearse, and during those rehearsals, we would basically add 4 or 5 new songs to the set list. So it was at one of those rehearsals that the comment was made. We got together to learn a new song. We had all learned the song on our own, and basically the rehearsal would be us getting together in the same room, and Richard, who kind of acted as the band leader, he was the keyboard player, giving us an idea of the arrangement we'd follow, and then we'd just kind of play it a few times and call it good. So Richard walked us through the arrangement that he was thinking for that pop song we were learning. Intro, verse, chorus, verse, David, guitar solo, I didn't think much about it. We went through rehearsal, and then I went back home, and then I thought about that comment. What was that about? What did Richard mean by this? Well, I knew exactly what he meant. See, at the time, I was a noodler. My solos would consist in me playing as many notes as I could, as many licks as I could, and typically a 12-bar solo would end up being, a 247-bar solo. I didn't know how to start. I had no sense of musicality, no development, and that comment reminded me of the sad truth. That kept me up for the good part of the night. I wasn't upset at Richard, but it really reminded me that I was on the wrong path. See, when I started playing guitar, it was because I wanted to express myself, because I wanted to write songs, because I wanted to be one with music. But that comment reminded me how far I was from the original dream. I had become a guitar poser, a guy who just took solos as the end-all be-all, and truthfully, it was very unfulfilling inside. Now, that didn't discourage me though. The next day I got up and got to work. I wanted to fix that problem that I was having, and I wanted to go back to the original intent, which was expression, creating something cool and musical. So I started by memorizing new licks, because I thought if I have more vocabulary, that surely is going to fix my problem. Well, it didn't. See, I would learn 5 licks, and then the next day I would learn 5 new licks, but by the end of learning the 3rd lick that day, I already forgot the previous licks, and that was really confusing. So that wasn't the right approach. So I thought, well, maybe I just need to understand music a little bit more, go back to the drawing board, revisit the early theory lessons I had with my teacher, and maybe it's gonna make sense. Yeah, that definitely did not help. So I tried something else. I made a point to go to 2 open jam nights every single week and just immerse myself in a conversation, a musical conversation with other people, and just kind of learn how to swim by being thrown in the water. So that's kind of good for the introvert me, just kind of getting outside, but it really didn't teach me anything. It just reminded me how bad I was at improvising. And then I did something that really changed everything. After a long day of practice, I put my guitar down, I grabbed some music, and I went for a long walk in nature. The idea was not to learn anything. The idea was really to take a break, enjoy some of my favorite music, and maybe later come back to it with a fresh mind and just see what happens. But there was no expectation. It was an amazing afternoon. I spent my afternoon with Hendrix, listened to Red House quite a few times. There's something about that song, the way that it's played, the way that Jimmy is telling that story that is really speaking to me. I also listened to my favorite band ever, Dire Straits. I think I probably listened to Telegraph Road something like 5 or 6 times in a row. And then I went back to the classics, a little bit of Buddy Guy, always awesome, so fun. And I came back home really refreshed and with a sense of peace in a sense of, you know, it's only music. It's okay if I can't do that. I had a great time with these guys, just listening to these guys. We'll see what happens tomorrow. So that night I went to bed, still kind of hearing the echo of these songs that I had heard all afternoon. And then it hit me. Whenever these guys were singing, they weren't taking a lead. But whenever they played lead, they weren't singing. Not only that, but it is almost as if these guys were having a conversation between their singing voice and their playing voice. And that gave me an idea. The next day, I got up, I grabbed my guitar, and played one of the songs the band had been playing. The difference, though, is that I was really paying attention to the singer. And whenever the singer ended one of his musical phrases, I took over, responding to what the singer was doing. And I kept doing that through the whole song. I wasn't approaching this as me playing a solo over what the other musicians were doing. It was me being part of the song, part of the experience, adding another singing voice to the song. The only difference was that it was not my voice, it was my guitar. And this resulted in an improvisation that was a lot more musical because I was listening to the singer, and also because there were some naturally built silences in there. And that's because I had set the rule that I would not play when the singer was singing. And that gave the whole improvisation a sense of development. It's very, very simple in concept, but that had a profound impact on my playing. And I kept doing this with a lot of other songs, just trying to learn how to listen, play, not overplay, and keep things musical, blend in with the other instruments. And then I started applying that to my improvisations at the Scat Club. Whenever I had to take a solo, in my mind, I would imagine a singer singing over the section I had to play over. And I would not play anything while the singer in my head was singing. I would just respond to that voice I heard in my head. The result? Mind-blowing. It was very musical. People actually paid attention to what I was playing. Whereas before, they couldn't wait for the solo to be over. So that was the fix to my note vomit that I would do whenever I had to play a solo. And yes, Richard noticed. But that brought another problem. Now that my leads were better, more musical, more in sync with the other players, my rhythm started to suffer because it wasn't as good as my lead playing. Thankfully, there's a guy who really helped me with that. His name is Jimmy, and I'm going to tell you all about that one in this video.